public cloud and edge computing, and we are not really synchronized. So once again, this is the last session of Lightning Talks. Now it works. Great. Woo. Our first speaker will be Brian Brazil, like the country, talking about a conference in another country. Brian.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. So I'd like to invite all of you to our third PyCon conference in Ireland on October 13th through 14th. It's a full 2-day conference, including sprints, tutorials, and talks. We're also still looking for speakers, and it's €50 or 30 for students. So I hope to see many of you there. Thank you.
Wow. Woo. Thank you so much. I thought that Larry, Ralph, can you please wire up, that Larry did one of the shortest lightning talks with 42 seconds. But you, Brian, you were really faster. That was only 25 seconds. Cool. So, what? Yours? Yeah. You cheated. Telling me it's 43 seconds, it's a minute and 8, but it was a great cheat. So, I need, while Ralph is writing himself up, Pelle Arnquist. Pelle? Yeah, cool. Can you grab the microphone and wire yourself up while Ralph tells us how to use statistics package R from Python. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ralph.
Hello, I'm Ralph, and I'm talking about a small project which is alive for about 2 years. And it's basically describing a network bridge between Python and R. So what is R? R is a well-known statistic package. It's an open source package. And it's available for many, many platforms, and you can download it. You can do a lot of things like linear modeling, statistical tests, all kind of things that you use in statistics. And R has a command line interface where you can just type, and it has a programming language built-in where you can write your own scripts and programs. Now this project here is about how to build the bridge between the Python land and R land. So what you need is on the R side, you need a TCP/IP interface which connects R to the network. And that's a project which has been developed by Simon Urbanek for a couple of years now available, and it has built, connects R via TCP/IP to the network, and you install R only on the server side, and it opens a socket, and it comes with clients for Java and C++, but there was no one for Python, so I thought I'd take over the Python part and build the appropriate counterpart, which is then called pyRserve. It's a pure Python client, and there's no R software necessary on the client side. It understands the same protocol, and its basic job is to serialize and deserialize data coming from and sent to R. So it's the missing part in between. It's the QA app protocol. I don't know where this protocol comes from. I think Simon has invented it. I have never found any other references to it on the network, so it's maybe just proprietary to it, but it's well documented, and it's you can find how it's built up on the website. So you could, in principle, implement other clients for other languages for it. How to use it? So you need to install R if it's not available on your machine. Just download, make configure, make and install, and it's there. The next package you need is the RServe, the TCP/IP adapter on the R side. And if you download the package from the RServe server and you just say rcmd install, then it's just installed system-wide for R configuration. And installing pyRserve is really easy. Just pip install pyRserve. Installs NumPy, by the way, if it's not available. So to start it up, you need to start the RServe on one host. It can be on any machine on your local network or be on the same host. Just rcmd rserve, the top command starts the R server. And then you open a shell. Maybe if it's on your same computer, you say just import pyRserve and connect to it. RServe is running on a different host. You have to provide the host name and the port. And so then the connection provides one attribute called R, which reflects the namespace on the R on the remote side onto the Python namespace. And then like sending string expressions from Python to R, get it evaluated, and get the commands back. First one is just adding a number. The second one is just creating a list on the R side or creating a vector on the R side. And what you get back immediately when you create that, when it's evaluated, you get back, it's translated to the Python side, and you have native Python objects. This one is here how to set a variable in R and how to retrieve the variable. You can also create functions in R from Python, and then, like the first line, you create a function which doubles numbers, and the second call is then directly calling that function, which is all R syntax. Or you even send a little script over to R and get the script then evaluated. Not really much fast, but there's a manual which describes that in more details. Better way to do that than sending R expressions is to do it the Pythonic way. So the con R a var sets now assign this ABC string to a variable, a var, but it's doing that on the R side. And you can even assign much more complex data like NumPy arrays, create them in the Python side, and assign them to the variable a matrix on R. And here we do an expression on the R side, a string expression, and you can see that on the R side it's really there, and you get the dimensions of the tag. You can do more complex things like calling functions on R. Here on top we do it, and then you call them, and then... These are about R. It's a Google group, and there's a website for it in PyPy. Everything is there.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Thank you. Daniel, did you figure? No. Just it's a thumbs up you can do. So take this, Penny. Please connect yourself. You all know that feeling, standing in front of a big audience and having to do a speak. Who would be afraid of it? Yeah, there's statistic that's the most common fear besides being with snakes on a plane. That's even better. I myself have the opposite fear. I was giving another talk, lightning talk, but a full slot talk. And on Saturday I had a nightmare that I stand there. It's only half a participant, and he's only half a participant because he came in to ask where are the toilets. And I don't have slides, so it was the worst fear I could ever have, to be in a room giving a talk with having no participants. If you get cheap advice, what you shall do if you're afraid to stand before a crowd and give a speech, some people tell you to imagine your audience naked. I give speeches to system and database administrators. And it's not a good thing to do because it's no respect to imagine your audience naked. But imagine you're giving a talk to male and female supermodels. Would you feel really self-confident to imagine a room full of 200 male and female supermodels naked? So don't do that. The other horrible thing is having a talk with one of the best designed computers. You could sing a song, but you don't have slides, and Daniel doesn't have slides. So maybe you prepare your great computers and ask, Mike, do you have? Okay, we try. Mike. Okay, Mike. Let's try Mike and. Let's try Mike. I put out my Lightning Talk Man superhero cards, and there were some funny things happened. First, some people asked me, is it only a joke or are you really trying to do it? Two answers. It's a joke and I'm really trying to do it. And yeah, I also still earn money by running the German Second Quadrant, which is a PostgreSQL consulting company. So I still do some real stuff. Then, whoa! More stories later. Now, Mike, about the PyCon DE 2012. Are you ready, Mike? No, he has no microphone. Can somebody please wire up Mike? Give a mic to Mike. While we are with funny words, some picked up the German print of my superhero cards. Usually there should be one German word on the backside. It's Gesamtkunstwerk. Does anybody understand Gesamtkunstwerk? Yeah. There's no translation, that's why I left it in German, and I googled it up. There was really an exhibition in United Kingdom called Gesamtkunstwerk, and the rest of the story after PyCon DE of Mike.
Thank you. I would like to talk about yet another conference. There will be a PyCon DE 2012 in Germany, and the PyCon DE stands for the Conference of the German-Speaking Python Community, and it will be end of October, the 29th of October to the 3rd of November. In Germany, they had the first one of this conference in 2011, about 200 people and more than 50 talks, 3 keynotes, 13 tutorials, and everybody had a great time, as you can see the people in the photograph here. And PyCon DE will begin in Leipzig with the same location and the same team as last year. And last year everybody was very, very pleased with the conference, and we hope we can repeat this year and top it a little bit. And again, we have 1 day of tutorials. It will be a full day of tutorials. We have 3 days of talks. And we have 2 days with bar camp, sprints, and code retreat. And they have a few nice keynote speakers. So Steve Holden will be a keynote speaker. We will have Schockwellenreiter, which is a very famous German blogger. And we have one guy from CERN. He will talk about the obvious topic, I guess. And besides the conference, we had a very nice side program. Everybody came together for a social event, and that was a pretty good conference, and we had a lot of time to communicate with people. So that was fun. So that's a PyCon DE 2012. And if you would like to become a sponsor and want to get in contact with the German-speaking Python community, that's the sponsors from last year. And if you would like to see your logo, and we have very good conditions, you will get a boost, you will get logos all over the place, and a lot of exposure to the Python-speaking, German-speaking Python community. And again, that's not the end. We're also already planning. This just came about the last days. There will be a PyCon DE 2013 and 14, and the first one will be in Cologne. Cologne is Cologne, and in 2014 it will be in Berlin. Okay, I have one more thing. Of course, once we are in conferencing announcements, I have another conference I'm involved with, which is the EuroSciPy conference. This is number 5. The first 2 EuroSciPys happened in Leipzig, where I was very much involved in, and then the second ones, number 3 and 4 in Paris, and this year we're number 5 in Brussels. So if you're interested in Python and science, this is an event to go in Europe, EuroSciPy. It's the end of August, 25th, 26th of August, the conference. We have 2 full days of tutorials, very interesting tutorials, and then we have 2 days of the conference, and after this we have satellite conferences, I think in physics, in neuroscience, and there's a lot of sprinting going on there also. That's it. Thank you.
Great. You will have lightning talks. 2 conferences, 1 lightning talk. You will have lightning talks at the PyCon DE, Mike. He's already fiddling with Max. It's much more interesting than anything else.
We're adapting adapters.
You're adapting adapters. Job blocks is the correct word. Gesamtkunstwerk. It's a holistic work of art. The word was driven by German artist Wagner. Daniel. Don't let it slip through your fingers. And you're winding yourself up. He took this word Gesamtkunstwerk to make a word about having something bigger, putting together a lot of great things. And that's what I'm trying to do, have the great speakers giving great talks to make something that's even greater, like this conference. Daniel, your EuroPython lightning talk about the social
eating revolution.
Do it.
Okay. All right, so first of all, sorry because this is ridiculously improvised. I'm saying I never organized anything like this and it's really, really fast. So the title to this is How We Managed to Bootstrap Thanks to Django, and the subtitle is Technology Empowers Social Relations. So about me, my name is Daniel pyRserve and I am the co-founder of Nyamo, or for English-speaking people, Gnamo. And so Nyamo is a social network for home chefs that want to meet interesting people and earn a revenue for their cooking skills. At the same time, there are guests, which are the fundamental part of the social application, that decide to eat based on culinary preferences and social friendships. So first of all, I'm to say this is not at all a pitch. What I want to actually show is the technology which is behind it, which gave us the possibility to bootstrap in very little time and to become profitable. So the way it actually works is you have two types of people, the cooks and the guests. So the cook creates an event. The event has a location, a title, a description, a menu, a number of seats, and a price. And the host is subscribed to the website, and it's a social network, so he has his profile. He creates a booking request to the event. And once the cook understands through his profile that he's not a criminal and he would like him to come to his event, he accepts his invitation, and then you have a transaction. The way we actually work our business model is taking a 10% of every transaction. What is really cool is the fact that Nyamo has been along for more or less, very little, less than a year, and thanks to technologies such as Django, we managed to, we already have, this is one month-old slide, more than 2,360 users, okay, and more than 30 events, and the ridiculous thing is that it's a very, very new thing, and more than 50% of the events we have on Gnamo are overbooked. What's great is the technology which is behind it. One thing which is really important is the fact that technology really empowers great social events. And our technology is based on Django because it was easy to learn and our developers managed to understand it in a really fast way. But most importantly, the designers which we hired managed to work on it immediately because the templating engine is really, really powerful. We also have RabbitMQ, in which we dispatch all process-intensive jobs to the independent workers, and that makes us scale really, really fast. Logging system in Django works really, really well. And that's why we use it to get feedback of what, let's say, the status of our application. Plugins, I would recommend Social Auth with a modified backend. You can easily modify the backend to suit your own needs. Django PayPal in case you have to do transactions. Django registration, always you can modify the backend. Gargle by Discuss, and obviously for deploying, Fabric, VirtualEnv, and Supervisor, which manages all our jobs. So currently, we have Gnamo, which is one of the top 5 startups for social eating in the world. And this talk is to say thank you to all the community, because without us, mainly you, because I'm still at the start, this would never have been possible. Without the community, all these great plugins would never have been created. And if it wasn't for you guys, people couldn't convert their ideas, their dreams into reality. So thank you very much.
Woo. Woo. Thank you, Daniel.
And also a big thank you to my team. Yeah, I'm that guy over there. When I start to write code, I burn the keyboard.
Woo. We're in Italy. 5 minutes to talk, 5 hours to eat. A great country. I need Thomas A, who wants to write large XML to wire yourself up. He's moving in front. Paddy, you're praying? Ooh. Yeah, well, I guess we need a round of applause for a Mac that works on first try. Billy will talk about uploading to PyPy.
Do I need a microphone?
PyP. Billy.
All right. Collaborate and listen. ICE is back with a brand new invention, something. Grab a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon, daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, Joe? I don't know. Turn off the lights, and I glow. 2-day streamer, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage like a trump, like a candle. Dance. Go hoops, stick that boom. Start killing yourself like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly. When I hear a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it, you better gain weight. You better hit bullseye, the kids don't play. If there was a problem, Joe, I solve it. Take up the hooks and DJ rolls it. Ice, ice, baby. Boom, 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 bada, boom, vanilla, ice, ice, baby. Well, since we are so rapid. All right, yeah. I wanted to take some minutes of your time to talk about the PyPy. This is the PyPy with an I in the end, and it's the Python package index. I don't have anything to do with it except I uploaded some stuff, and I thought that all of us should upload stuff there because it's a great repository to have, and the whole community can really contribute with all our great hacks or more advanced stuff there. So I just wanted to say it's very easy to upload it. So here's how you upload to the PyPy. And of course, PyPy, you're probably familiar with like setup tools that use the easy install command, or pip install packages that use the pip command. But uploading, okay. So you upload, if you want to do it via setup tools, you do it with this. You run Python on a special file called setup.py, and you register. I will talk about the setup.py in just like a second. So this is the first command. You register, and then you have your package, like the metadata, up on the PyPy servers. Then you just build it. I did it with the sdist, and then you upload. sdist here is the source distribution, so it will create some kind of tarball with all your source in it. And upload will upload it to the repository. So that's all you have to do. And of course, you need to specify the setup file. And I hope this is big enough, because I wanted to fit it in all one slide. So can you read it in the back? Is it okay? Well, it's very easy, and it's taken blatantly stolen from the documentation. So you can go there and look also if you want to. But mainly it's you specify a bunch of metadata in this setup file. It's you have the name of the product, which is important. The version, the author who created it, like some kind of description. It might be nice to have your keywords, like so it's easy to search for it. Some kind of license that you should have, right? So people don't take too much or take too little of it. I don't know. And a bit of different packages. And this last one is where you specify all the code, like different Python packages that includes all your different modules. So that's all that you need to do, really, to be able to upload code that everyone can use in our great community. So I encourage everyone to do it. And as we have learned before, we at Python we're all rap people. And if you must ask the words a bit, this will become rap. That is my company that I work for. So yeah, I wanted to thank you all for a great week also. I'm done.
Cool. Billy, thank you so much. While Thomas is getting that up.
It's not PyPy, it's pronounced cheese shop.
All right, yeah. Sorry.
PyPy is pronounced cheese shop. Okay. We need Adolfo. Adolfo is present or not present? Adolfo is not present. Then I need Daniel P., who will talk about micro-frameworks. While Thomas is... You are Daniel? Very good. One technical note.
What position?
What?
Oh. Not Thomas.
I'm Thomas.
You Thomas?
I am Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, it's quite nice. He's Thomas, this is laptop, this is microphone, this is a stage.
All we need is a screen.
The screen is missing. So some technical remarks. If I ask you to prepare, please wire yourself up. But while wiring up, please switch off that microphone. Very good. And Thomas will connect his laptop and prepare to talk about large XML output with Unicode and namespace. when listening to Lund's talk about improving the engagement of of women in the Python community, I was very proud to hear that we were able to rise the involvement of women from 4% to 8%. And then this morning I had an epiphany that the great work that Lynn and Anna and Jessica McKellar are doing to bring more women into the Python community, they will regret it in 4 years. Because then we will have half women, half men on a Python conference, and there will be queues before the women's toilets also. And one lady at the breakfast told me in Remedial, just get a room in the conference hotel, you can go to your own room. Now, Thomas, about large output in XML.
Hello everybody, can you hear me? Okay. So I'm going to talk about large output in XML, so you can do the same if you get a requirement like this. In our case, we wanted to write a file that looked like this. As you can see, it's an XML file. It uses Unicode with characters beyond the ASCII range. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Better now?
Yeah.
Okay. It uses Unicode. It uses namespaces, and in our case, it also could become very large. It could become millions and billions of lines, and there was a complex XML hierarchy with interlinking elements. At the time, we already knew how to read XML. Python has very many libraries and modules to do that, and they're all pretty decent. So we thought, how hard can it be to write XML? So we went to the Python library, beep, 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 and we were like, So here's what happened. First we tried Minidom, and you end up with source code like this. As you can see, you have to explicitly state the namespace attributes. You have to use your own line for each attribute, and basically you end up with many lines of code. The documentation is quite forthcoming about this, and it says if you want to write less code, then you should use elementary. So that's what we did, and we ended up with this code. Here you have to use the Clark notation to actually identify the namespace, which is very long compared to the XPath shortcuts. And you have to register the namespace, which you only can do in Python 2.7. And generally, well, it gets a little bit shorter, but it also gets much wider. And the issue doesn't improve if you use the LXML library, which is a very good, powerful library, but it also uses E3. Apart from that, you generally have memory issues because you have to create the whole document in memory. If you do that with large data sets, you're not really going to be very happy. What you really need is a streaming interface. So after some digging, we found out that many people actually use the basic file I/O of Python, and they just write and use open to do it. In this case, you have to manually escape everything, and it just doesn't feel right. The code is shorter, but it feels like an act of desperation. With even more digging, we came up that there is an XML generator, and the source code starts to look quite nice in this case. There is a minor issue because you cannot do empty tags. You just have to open and close with nothing in between, which is a little bit clumsy, but otherwise it's almost decent. The main issue we had was that there is a lack of basic validation. It doesn't really check, are all tags closed? Are they in the correct order? Are you referring to namespaces that you never really defined? And when you write a large file, when you stream a large file, you really want to do all that before you're done with everything. And at the end, detect that it doesn't validate towards an XML scheme. So all that was left was to go all kinky, do the dirty deed, put on the wizard robe and wizard hat, and yes, you guessed it, write yet another XML module. Woo! Which is just what the world needed because it worked that well the last 25 times somebody did it. I know, bear with me. Before you judge me too harshly, it just writes XML. So it just tries to do one thing, and it tries to do it well. The source code you end up looks like this. So this is basically compact notation for everything. It uses UTF-8 by default. You also can use the with statement for resource cleanup. It's a streaming interface. It's Python 2.7, pure Python, no dependencies to other modules, and it optimizes empty tags automatically. It also raises XML error if you make a stupid little mistake, like referring to a namespace that isn't there, forget to close tags, write non-well-formed documents, or try to squeeze 8-bit characters into ASCII strings. Non-ASCII characters into 8-bit strings. It's available from Cheese Shop. It's also on GitHub, open source, and you can install it with pip. So if you want to write large XML output with Unicode and namespace, Logsoon could be the solution you're looking for.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you so much. I need Ariel to come to the stage. Daniel P., please get ready with your projector. Thomas, please give your microphone to Ariel, and please switch it out before you do. Dr. Rob Collins did a lot of massaging. Who got a massage? Wow, and he got 950 euros from those 5 people. So I will not dare to ask who paid to not get a massage. And Rob Collins presented during his lightning talk something fantastic, I'll tell you, after the lightning talk about how not to write a microframework by Daniel. Daniel, let the rubber hit the road.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Just use your hand to speak.
So I'm going to talk about how not to write a microframework, but first a little bit about me. I am the current world champion Python games programmer.
Woo! That's a conversation starter at parties.
So this talk is really about how to not write a microframework, because I have done and I regret it. So most people, I imagine, have a web app a bit like this. Many of us are lucky enough to have larger ones, but there are plenty of microframeworks that will help you write something a bit like this. But if you have more of a mess of stuff, so your web apps are up at the top, but you have a bunch of services collaborating at the back end to provide services to them, then the existing microframeworks aren't particularly good for that. Those kind of pieces in particular, we wrote a microframework to kind of deal with that. So the microframework we wrote uses G-Event, which is awesome, and Twisted should just die. It's obviously RESTful, and it talks AMQP, Postgres, and we did ops-friendly configuration, so you can use the same configuration file, but you just tell it you're in a different environment and that kind of thing. What we left out were things like object relational mappers, because in this kind of level of the stack, you want to see exactly what you're handing to the database to execute. We don't need internationalization because the front-end Django bits do that before they hand it out to people. We don't need templates because you're just doing JSON, and we don't need any browser hijinks. And we built that off existing libraries because they're really cool, and you don't have to do as much work if you use those. The one that you may not have heard of is Puka, which is an AMQP library. I regret using that. But it seemed like it would be slightly more convenient for integrating with G-Event than Puka because we wanted connection pooling. So this is it. Write down that URL and go and check it out. And particularly, I would like people to tell me what I should not have done, what I should remove from this, because this is about not writing microframeworks. This is what it looks like. So all standard stuff, but then there's this on-start event, which is actually fired after the web service has started. So you can do ongoing processing that isn't related to a web request, which is the whole point of doing this. And it does, standard stuff. But we've used it to do more extravagant things like a real-time chat thing, and we have a product coming that's going to be based on the same kind of stuff. But this is the crux of my talk. There are rather a lot of these. I didn't really want to add another one. I have added another one. But the way that we wrote this thing was to tightly couple all of the neat bits in it together so that it was really easy to get started. But it turns out that most of that stuff is crap. And we want to use nice off-the-shelf bits, and we want to not have to maintain our crap. So these are some of the nice bits that are in there. Event dispatcher that can dispatch on a greenlit. Some other bits that I've mentioned. And my goal now is to sort of pull those apart, ship them all as separate libraries on Pipey. Cheese shop. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the next 6 months or so. So taking libraries off Pipey and doing some cool stuff and producing more libraries and pushing them back onto Pipey is the model of development that I would like to take, and that's what I'm advocating. So also play my game. It looks like that. It's really cool.
Thank you very much. Current champion of Pygame programming about how to not write a microframework. And Daniel, I have to update my saying that Python has more web frameworks than keywords to the more concrete part. Python has an order of magnitude more web frameworks than keywords. That's the thing. Dimitri Midayevs or Milayevs. I'm not sure if it's a D or an L. You're here. Please get yourself wired up. Ariel. Oh, I remember having Ariel in Birmingham with the Lightning Talks, and he had a very hard fate because three projectors went out in flames while he was setting up. It's great. We can start. Ariel, about cubes, a secure OS. The mic, please switch on the mic. Don't fiddle with the projector. We only have one. Oh, so back to the great initiative by Rob Collins.
Wait. Oh, we are here. We are here. Yeah.
Yeah, the internet is dangerous as a projector. Ariel.
Hi, my name is Ariel Ben-Yehuda. I'm going to give a presentation about cubes, a secure client operating system. Now, the internet is a dangerous place. There are worms, viruses, exploits. Even browsing is dangerous. Flash alone has a security update once a month. And a security update, in this case, usually means that somebody found a bug in Flash which can allow you to install viruses in your computer, and they put it live on some website. And that they can even sometimes put it in ads, so even if you can get these viruses, even if you visit trustworthy websites. There's a solution to this nasty problem. If you isolate your applications from each other, even you can run your untrusted, like browsing, playing Flash games in one place, and your other application, it wouldn't be able to harm your other things. Could infect your browser, but it will be pretty limited in what damage it can do. Now, Cube's approach to do this isolation is via virtual machines. That's because normal operating system kernels are rather too complex to deliver protection. They have their own security bugs. Now, usually virtual machines are don't give a good experience because you can't really do. Because if you have several windows in one virtual machine, they are in single one, and each one wants its own taskbar and other such, you can't copy and paste between them. No, Cursor has a single federated desktop, and you can copy and paste, you can transfer files, you can do such things. Now, Cubes use Xen for virtualization, which is a widely used open source virtualization kernel, used by Red Hat. Actually, it used because it only has 100,000 lines of code, and Linux has 10 million, which means it has like 100th of the security bugs of Linux. No, it can be so small because it only handles memory and CPU. The other things are handled by the DOM0 Linux VM, but they can't be reached by the software in the VM. So it's harder to. So they can't really count. And DOM0 is a normal VM running Linux and KDE. Let's look at this slide. There are 4 VMs here, the 3 VMs we talked about earlier, and 1 trusted VM for domain 0. Every VM has its own X server. DOM0, of course, has the X server because it needs to run the display. Now the other domains have the X server because the Firefox, the applications want to talk to an X server. And we couldn't let them talk to the DOM0 X server because the X protocol is not so secure. So we have to header these 4 applications, 4 X servers into one desktop. We want one desktop, not 4. We do it using a GUI agent, and a GUI daemon mechanism. The X server in the VMs, it talks to a GUI agent, which gives the picture over a thin GUI protocol to the GUI daemon in a domain 0. And also gives them the keyboard and mouse signals that they get from the domain 0 X server, which also handles the window management and focus, such nice stuff. So there are some more issues, which you can read on the links I'll soon show you. Conclusion: Cube's approach to is isolation via virtual machines with federated desktops. Only have, say, 120,000 sensitive lines of code. Linux alone has 10,000. If you have smooth stuff like X and other, you have more than 10 million, not more than 10 million. So I read about a lot, but I didn't install cubes because it wants 8 gigs of RAM. I only have 4. Here you can see some links, my email address. So copy the links if you have.
Ariel, about cubes. Thank you so much for telling us about a secure operating system. Please let the wire be removed from you. And Ariel is a regular at EuroPythons. I once talked with his father and he told me, oh, Ariel just made me come with him to EuroPython. And I think we need more children dragging their fathers to EuroPython and their mothers and their sisters and their brothers. So I've got, with flying to EuroPython, a last call for Adolfo Brandes for Lightning Talk Airways. Last call for Adolfo Brandes. Your baggage will be unloaded. Okay, Adolfo Brandes seems not to be here. I need Carl Reinold. Carl Reinold, you're here. Please get yourself wired. Dimitri, you're ready? Switch on your microphone.
Now I'm ready.
You're ready?
Okay, just recently the European football thing has ended, and I decided not to watch it on TV. Instead of, I decided to follow the Twitter. So why I did so? Because I'm studying computational linguistics, and in my case it's more computer science and a little bit of linguistics. And I'm doing it at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, and also in the University of Saarland in Germany. And my internship is in PayLogic, and we're looking for people. Well, I'm looking for a PhD. Anyone? So what my research is about is, like, you're interested about the football, so you're looking for this hashtag Euro 2012. But the problem is that the discussion is going beyond this hashtag. For example, you can see a tweet like this. Okay. Whatever. So, and my approach involves some trending word detection, so I want to show you how it works. So let me see. So here what we are going to do is I'm going to stream tweets collected during the 5 games. So Poland, Greece, Sweden, England, Germany, Greece, Germany, Italy, and Spain, Italy. So we just publish it through ZeroMQ socket, and then the web application will get them and push to the browser. And we have some sleeves, so I can start browser, and then we will see the the breaks between the games. So web server is running. We start the thing. Choose the browser. So here you will see the amount of tweets going each minute. So here we started. And here you see the trending word. So the bigger the word, the more trending it is. So that's the game Poland-Greece. So I think the next game starts. So that's Germany, Greece, I think. Yeah. Was 4-2, by the way. So now Germany, Italy, 1-2.
Obamacare?
That's my favorite.
Oh.
And the last one, 4-0. Okay, so here we are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I remember the EM taking much longer. That's a very effective way to follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I need Jeremias to get yourself wired up. That's great. Now our next speaker will be Carl, and he will call to make health IT less bad.
Hello. Yep.
And another call was made by Rob Collins to build a Python contractors collective. And he already set up a blog and website with Python contractors collective. And he promised as... Yeah, URL is here, pycontract.com will, as soon as DNS is flushed, the current blog is up there in Tumblr, and that's a call to connect us Pythonistas. And now, Carl, about a call to make health IT less bad. Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, I'm a doctor, I'm also a Python newbie. Being a doctor is so painful because the health IT is terrible at the moment, unfortunately. It's also painful for patients because the systems are broken, the market is broken, and we really need to fix this problem. We need to take action. So some of what I've been doing is shown here. I've organised a meeting. This all began actually at PyCon UK when I hooked up with some developers there. And we had the idea that we should have a hack day. So 120 people came, software developers, doctors, designers, and other geeks who love the NHS. The NHS is the socialised medicine system that we have in the UK for the Americans. We love the NHS. We love the NHS. It's a good thing. But I'm keen to keep this going. So we have funding for a couple more in the UK. We're going to have one in Liverpool that you can sign up to on the website, which is nhshackday.com. We're also going to have one in Oxford shortly after that. But really, there's lots of other people in this space, and I'm keen to reach out and connect with them. So anybody else that wants to have a chat, that would be great. Basically just doing Python stuff and any other things to disrupt the existing health IT mess and make things better for everyone. So that's all.
Thank you very much for this call. And we all can imagine the pain. You already cut your hand and you're bleeding, and then you go to the hospital and the software is running on Java or something. So a really valuable call, Carl, for Better Health IT. Our next speaker will be Jeremias about Django Bitcoin. No Django Bitcoin. Yeah, the one of Mike did work. That was a great display adapter.
This one is busted.
Yeah. For memory techniques, I met somebody looking for his room where he wanted to listen to the talk, and I asked him, can you remember something about the room? And he told me it's something about noodles. This conference, the talk name, something about noodles? Yeah, right, Mike. Every room was named after noodles, so it did not help to remember it's something about noodles. Now we have easy Bitcoin. Jeremias?
Just a moment there, like
just a moment.
This doesn't calibrate,
Woo.
right? Is it? I'll try this.
Full page. Ah.
Okay. No.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah. So, who here knows about Bitcoin? Almost half. So, just a quick recap. It's a cryptographic open source currency which governments can control or any other organization. So, and it's from a developer perspective, it's easy to automate and easy to use and easy to integrate with your product or project. And there is lots of other interesting properties as well. And I have created this Django Bitcoin library for Django with a couple of other developers. And it's not like for web shops, like there is already lots of like your plugins or this kind of software which you can just plug into in your web shop or something, but Django Bitcoin is meant more advanced products like marketplaces, or if you want to integrate it with some forum software or where people can have their own wallets and exchange stuff inside the website. So, for example, there is some ideas I have wrote up which could be made with Django Bitcoin. Of course, like marketplace for physical items like Silk Road is like the most obvious thing, but it's illegal, so that's not very good. Also, the other ideas are pretty shady, but because of the microtransactions, it could be good for like virtual items or this kind of stuff. And actually, there is now 4 live websites using this library, but two of these are mine, Easy Wallet and Local Bitcoins are mine. But there might be also other websites which I don't know about yet. And here's an example, really simple example how to use the library. There's only one simple model called Wallet, which you can plug into any Django model, and then you can transfer money between these wallets and send bitcoins inside and outside of the system. And there are lots of other features with the library, like currency conversions. So you can create a website where everything is like in US dollars, and it makes pricing and this kind of stuff much easier than like because nobody thinks in bitcoins, so they can like transfer think about in US dollars and not care about the Bitcoin conversions. And if you are interested, there's a small tutorial I have wrote about how to use this library. This is a really basic level for beginner. Like if you know Django, then you can use the library, I think, right away. And that's it. If you have any questions or anything about this library, you can contact me on the internet.
Jeremias about Django Bitcoin, giving a big hand. Thomas Waldmann will set up himself to talk about news in Moin Moin Wiki 2.0, and I need the Yoni who wants to talk about Batu multi-host component. Is he here? You're ready, okay. And we should at least prepare Florent X. Florent X? Okay, please be prepared. Thomas, you ready?
Yeah. Okay, hello, I'm Thomas Waldmann, and I just want to update about Moin Moin Wiki 2.0. This is our current development version. The big news are it's very different from the old version. We have rewritten a lot of code, we have killed a lot of code, we have redesigned how it works internally, and we are also using lots of good code from other projects now, so the code base is smaller. Theme and user interface are using Jinja now. We also have rewritten the theme code, we improved the UI. This was a Summer of Code 2011 project, and it now outputs HTML5. And we have also the usual stuff like jQuery and so on. Another big news is more internal. The old thing had separate page things, attachment things, users, and the metadata was inside the page. This is now much cleaner. We have revisioned MIME type items. The metadata is stored separately. It's key value pairs. And the data can be anything. It can be markup, text, pictures, binaries, whatever. The storage is now much simpler than before. The old stuff had it mixed up with UI code and logic and whatever. The new has a clean storage API, and we have rewritten it again recently. And it's now really easy. You can write a new backend in maybe one day, including testing it. Currently it supports file system, SQL storage, and NoSQL storage. Above this storage layer, there are layers for ACL handling, access control lists for indexing, searching, and this was done in 2011 in Summer of Code, and also for serialization. The user interface is also adapted to this. The old thing had separate user interfaces and different user interfaces for pages, attachments, and user management. The new one has only one kind of item, and it only has one kind of user interface to deal with it. So it's simpler and more powerful at the same time. Internally, when transforming content, also big changes happened. The old parser was parsing line by line and then generating HTML on the fly. It was HTML4 and more or less valid. The new one is reading the whole input document, transforming it to a DOM tree, then doing operations on it, and then transforming the tree to an output document. And it's now valid HTML5. And we have all sorts of converters for any direction and multiple formats. We are using a lot of libraries now. Not that much homegrown code as before. And you see it's now based on Flask, on Werkzeug, on Jinja for templating. We are using Whoosh for the search stuff and also internally. Flatland for validating forms and generating forms, highlighting source code with pigments, and so on. You can read it yourself. Currently there's Google Summer of Code 2012 running, and we have 6 students, and they are working on these projects. The first 3 projects are about new applications inside Moin, and the other one are cleaning up the interface, the user interface, another big change to the storage maybe, so it supports branches, and also a new plugin system. Details are on this Google SOC 2012 page. And as usual, feedback and contributions are welcome. You can't use Moin 2 in production yet, it's still in development. You can find information on this URL. And we have a sprint at the weekend, so just join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. While Christian Teune gets set up for his talk about multi-host component environment deployment with BAT2, just some announcement about what will happen later. We followed a suggestion by Lucas, who does not regret anything, about using some of the time from the sprint teasers for lightning talks. So we will schedule the one remaining lightning talks after the sprint teasers. And I would ask, after the talk of Christian, the sprint initiators of Astra 2, CPython, Django Composite Key to be prepared to come here on stage and tease for their sprint. But now the stage is Christian's.
Hello. Can you hear me? Is that good? Okay, all right. I would like to give this didn't start right. I would like to give a lightning tutorial for our deployment tool Bateau. So Bateau meet EuroPython, EuroPython meet Bateau. So I'm going to show how to deploy a long-running process under supervisor management, both locally and remotely, to machines in our data center. This is the project structure. We have components, one for supervisor, one for the long-running process, and environments that describe the local and remote deployments. This is our long-running program. It's doing something very important. It prints the time every second, and it's going to do that until the end of the universe. This is the component to manage that. It manages the file, makes it executable, and communicates the full path of the executable into a key value store of Bateau. Supervisor component, it's a little bit more complex. It gets the programs that have stored it in the key value store, runs a build out, registers a service, and makes sure that the supervisor that is running with up-to-date programs and configuration. As I said, it's using build out. This is the build out template. It uses Jinja to generate supervisor recipe specific entries for each program that is registered. And to get to the environment, this is the local environment to deploy it. We just say tick and supervisor run on localhost, and the remote thing means we're going to deploy it to machines in the ghost.net domain, and both are going to run both. In the local deployment, you're going to see convergence and idempotence at work. There's a utility called Bateau local, and I pass it the environment and which host to realize here at this point, and you see that it's doing stuff. And when it's done, we can see that supervisor is running now. I'm going to look at it. I can type without hands. Look, no hands. And so I can see that the program is running now. I can interact with it, understand it out, or at least look at it. I can see that it's ticking away, giving me the time every second. Now, convergence means that if I go into the target environment and start changing stuff, like changing this program, and I make something that's not intended from the project-wise, reloading supervisor to make that active, and it's going to show you that it's actually now changed and running every other second. Well, it's running the whole time. It only prints every other second. That's 2 seconds now, and that's not what our deployment project says it should be. So if I rerun Bateau, convergence means that it's going to change everything that is not in the target state back to what it should be and triggers the necessary dependencies. So it changes exactly what needs to be changed. It puts it back to 1 second and reloads supervisor. And here we can see it's back at 1 second. Again, idempotence means that if I run Bateau without any changes necessary, I can just run it and nothing happens. I keep running it, everything's good. It's not going to reload, restart anything. Remote, you're going to see automatic bootstrapping of this thing on the remote host, nothing required than SSH, a service user, and system integration. So there's a second tool called Bateau Remote. I pass it the environment, and in my case, which user to use. It connects, it bootstraps on the remote hosts, and it runs the deployment. And the output of that deployment is going to look pretty much like what we had locally. Take a second. So you see it looks almost like the one we had before, and it's going to do the same thing for the other machine that I'm deploying it to. One of the big issues is that this is a single button. I only have to press one button. Now, as it's done, I can connect to one of the machines, change to the service user, and the Bateau framework hides all the sudoing around this, and you don't have to ever say anything like that. And we can see that the supervisor over there is running now as well, and that the program is ticking away. There you go. And there's one more thing that happened when I deployed remotely without actually changing the config. All the config you saw, it's all there is. there is one additional thing. Varspool init contains our platform-specific system upstart and shutdown integration. And this was added by Supervisor. And you can see the additional components that it registered when running to gozip.net. So you can inject platform-specific things without having to clutter up your code of the actual deployment that makes it platform agnostic. Well, that's basically it. And so you can get the code from Bitbucket, and the documentation is on packages.python.org. This was an excerpt from the upcoming tutorial for how to use these components. Come and talk to us if you want to. I'll be here for the sprint.
Christian, thank you very much. Now, this concludes the official lightning talks. I need you all to clap and clap until we get all the organizers in front. Yeah. Francesco. Thank you so much for a great conference. It was a pleasure to be here. It was a pleasure to enjoy the great food. And what better way to really celebrate a great conference by another lightning talk. Luca will give us staff point of view on EuroPython.
Hello, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed our conference today. Well, actually, this week. Have you ever wondered how we saw this conference from the inside? So here we go. Okay, we have plus 10% increase of participation from last year. 750 and more people in total. Double women participation.
Woo!
Next year, beware in the toilets. Yeah. Here we go.
Woo!
Okay, and how did we do that? With the help of our network ninja, we actually did this. Woo! Yeah.
There's nothing duct tape cannot fix.
Okay. You know, organizing a conference means many things, one of which is dealing with speakers. But without them, we couldn't do anything. But sometimes you have to... But wait. There's more. Another one. Yeah, so that when I try to call you, I get the answering machine. Oh. And the last one is the finest, I think. But I would really like to thank all the speakers for being here. Without you, we wouldn't have been here. Thank you. Hey, you attendees, all of you, don't laugh. What the are you thinking? Come on, the door is open. You don't live in the Colosseum. Well, we, as the staff, initially we had some problems of communications. You see, something is not really understood well. Yeah, and me myself had actually had some problems. For example, this one. Okay, I'm really sorry for the guys that I sent to the garden on the first day. Yeah, really sorry. I didn't know it was on the 5th floor. But oh, I don't have the picture of what you lost. Sorry, the sunset with the dome. Unfortunately. And speaking of cocktails, what happened? Do you know? Maybe you know about this one. And yeah, this also happened. It's real. But in the end, I'm really happy on how things got. Yeah, I think this can summarize everything. And yeah, this is the most important thing. You enjoyed the conference. Yeah, okay. In the end, see you next year. Thank you
Don't leave yet.
very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. So please, without a deadlock, the great organizers of a great conference, please move to this store, and the speakers and the teasers for Astra 2 Sprint. You're the Astra 2 speakers? No? No? The CPython Sprint teasers. The Django Sprint teaser?
You remember you forgot one.
Yeah, their last lightning talk is not forgotten. He's scheduled after the sprint teasers. So there will be one more lightning talk after the sprint teasers. You're the Django sprint teaser, so grab your microphone and tease for the sprint. Just let him grab this. We have so many sprint teasers. Ulrich.
Hello?
Yeah.
Our network ninja.
Yeah, now the network ninjas. Was this the best network at any Italian EuroPython ever? Give a big hand. Give a big hand to our network ninjas. Another network ninja. In Python we have duct typing. With our network ninjas we have duct taping. And they're good at it. And also our directors making a lot of things work, having a great conference. Another big hand. Woo. When you leave this room after the sprint teasers and the final lightning talk and you come to the reception, thank everybody at the reception, and there are some Python mugs left and some other stuff. And I gave that talk about becoming a better programmer, and I talked a bit about the programmer's zone and how to get there. Having your own Python mug to drink can get you in the programmer's zone of Python very easy, and give money to the Python Software Foundation and PyCon Italy to give us more this great conferences. Have we have every one of the organizers now? Very great. You deserve a big, big, big hand. Marching of the gladiators. Da, da. Woo! A wonderful conference. Thank you so much, guys. You don't leave. I need you for the microphones. Cool. Du, Ulrich. Django and Django Composite Key. Thank you so much. Now, Ulrich, about Django and Django Composite Key, the sprint.
Actually, only about Django. I don't know who announced the Django Composite Key sprint, so maybe they will come forward.
Cool.
I've been asked to do this. I've never done this before, so please be kind. Any one of you who has ever wanted to change something in Django, this is your chance. We actually have a core committer here. I don't think he's in the room right now. It's Yannis. There he is. You can go to the, if you've never done a sprint, you can go to the Django sprint documentation in the Django wiki. I've made a short link. It's bit.ly/Django sprint. There is also a Django dashboard where you will find all kinds of statistics, including a link to easy to solve, at least